It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live here on S3. Now, listen to this, okay? If you couldn't get enough of this culinary extraordinaire and food expert in the kitchen, well, she'll be spending the next hour with us. She's going absolutely nowhere, and we can't wait to catch up with her. It's award-winning chef, author, and businesswoman. Everybody, welcome, Sibalicious. Oh, Siba, it really is a Sibalicious Wednesday today, and we really are so honored to have you here because you really are a ray of light.
Oh,
Hey?
Thank you so much, Nkosi. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
For coming. But like, here's the thing about you, right? So many of us have spent many years watching you on TV. We've seen you create some of the most groundbreaking recipes over here, over there, everywhere. You've kept us on our toes when it comes to culinary expression, but where did this journey all start for Siba?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions because it started in my mother's kitchen and in my dad's garden. So my dad tended a garden for my mom, and we had seed to table or farm to table literally in the beginning.
Are you serious?
Because you'd literally go get a lettuce, a green pepper, an onion, a garlic, a tomato in our garden, in our backyard.
Something.
And then wash it, rinse it, and create something with it that Mama would obviously was head of kitchen. So that's where it started. I do have a bachelor's degree in food and consumer sciences, and I majored in food science and nutrition, and we also had culinary arts within that course. So, one thing my parents always advocated is education, because my mom was a teacher, and she always wanted to ensure that whatever field I'm going to be in, I am going to be an expert.
You were covered.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I was covered. It was not easy for her to allow me to do food as a career, and I still get a lot of moms and parents who still write to me and say, Siba, is this really a job I can let my kids go into?
Yeah.
And I give a lot of advice of what youngsters can do beyond just the culinary. There's a lot more in the food industry that people are exposed to, so I give a lot of advice when it comes to that. But that's where it started. But where I am, I've got my own restaurant.
It's incredible. I love that.
A Harvard business case study.
No way,
The
Siba.
Harvard Business School in Boston wrote to me 2-3 years ago and said, you've done incredibly well in 8 years. What you have achieved is something that usually takes about 20 years for many people or their lifetime. And we just, we're intrigued with the fact that you are in South Africa and still in South Africa, yet to have such a great world influence.
Yes.
And what does it take? And they did a whole study on Miss Siba Mtongana.
Siba, the fact that we get to call you our Siba, for me, makes me beam with pride. And you must beam with pride everywhere you go, because not only do you get the recognition from Harvard, for example, and the international community, you also still do commit to creating some wonderful work here at home.
Yeah.
The Siba Co. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So the Siba Co. is a company I started when I used to be a food editor for a very famous magazine.
Which one?
Drum.
Oh, stunning.
I was a food editor for Drum magazine for 5 years. And that was actually where my culinary journey started in terms of, professionally.
Yes.
And I was with them for a very long time. And, when I decided to step out, it was a very big leap of faith for me to have wanted to do that, but it's something I really wanted to have done. Yeah. And it's something that my dad also taught me, that my daughter, after Dombiam, after 5 years, work for someone, but you must work as though you're a fool. And know everything about the job.
Immerse yourself
in it. And there must be no job too small, no job too big. And I did that. Said, give yourself about 5 years or a bit more, depending on how much you need. And then you must open your own business because you're very entrepreneurial. And those are the opportunities, he said, that they never had. And he sees it in me, and I need to pursue it. And I did that.
And you really did. Siba Co. was born. And from this experience, of course, if you didn't know, Siba's also the author of cookbook. It's titled My Table. It's gone to win multiple awards all over the place. What was the process of publishing your very own book in this way? But also, how do you decide which recipes to include, which ones not to, which stories to get into the book and really tell as part of your journey?
All right. It's a very interesting story because when I started, you must remember, Kakito, when I started, it was way before I made food a trend in South Africa.
Before there was social
before there was
media.
social media,
There were
I
no
was
influencers.
there. There was no influencers.
You were the
I was
lady.
there with Mam Dora Sitole of those who know her, you know. So we're there right in the beginning. So to convince a publisher to publish your book, especially as a black woman at the time, even though I had the title of being on Food Network, it was a huge convincing, and I got tired of being rejected with the different publishing house, and I decided I'm going to start do my own thing, but I needed to do this formally and not as a freelancer. That's how the Siba Co was born.
Ownership.
So yeah, ownership. So I did the cookbook. It was a very expensive exercise, but one that I still am proud of even so many years later. So that's how Siba Co was born. It was born due to this beautiful book. And within the book, you know, we had other things. For instance, we now have a great partnerships with other retailers and so on, and we've produced ranges and we've produced other things. So, you know, it was the book that really helped me to formalize my thing. And to answer your question, how do you put things together? You know, the beauty about it is that I had always been developing recipes for years before at Dra Magazine and also for Food Network. So now I just needed to sit down and then put them together. And I needed to put all the recipes that people loved. And I just made a compilation.
Create an experience
and
out
test,
of it.
And test. Make sure that the recipes are fully tested before you get it, so that when you do it, it doesn't flop. Like the bread we did earlier on.
Smooth. Oh, I mean, that can always flop in anyone's kitchen. Well, listen, I've enjoyed watching your journey, Siba. You've been such a total inspiration. And watching you on the Insider essay on SABC3 this week, that was beautiful.
Yay.
And in fact, if you missed it, you can catch the repeat this Saturday at 1 p.m. Siba, you're going nowhere. You're still hanging out with us here. Listen, here's a competition, okay? We're giving you a chance to win yourself a copy, okay? A copy of Siba's book, My Table. What you have to do is let us know which one of the recipes that have been featured would you like to try? Which one of the recipes that she speaks about would you like to try? Go on to Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Check that out. Use that hashtag Expresso Show. Siba, it's a Sibalicious Wednesday, Ntomba.
Ah, sweet. I'll take that.
Love it.